Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been a long time. I think it's been around a year or so. I believe my last video was created in July 2020. Obviously a lot happened since then. Who could have predicted that the stock market will be doing so well when people are unemployed and coronavirus raging for the last year and a half, and there's still partial lockdowns here and there. Mind you, some countries have full lockdowns right now as well in the world. But yeah, I basically last year I made a few videos about investing. Also made some videos about car maintenance, simply because I was a little bit bored, to be honest. I just wanted to learn how to edit videos, which I found to be the hardest part of this whole process. It's not finding the topic to talk about, but actually editing them and making them look pretty. And then when things opened up and it was summer, and I just kind of moved on, started doing my own things. But right now I decided, you know what, I should get back into it. And it's nice to talk about it, about the whole investing process. Like, I like talking about it, and just even get your input on it. If you like the video, please click the subscribe button, click the like button. It would help me a lot with the YouTube algorithm. The more views I get and the more likes I get, the more videos I'm gonna make, because at least I know that people like it. I also wanted to kind of tell you why I'm so interested in dividend investing, because I never really talked about it in my previous videos. Well, the reason I want to have a passive income is because I want to retire early, and I want to retire somewhere in Asia, most likely, because basically it's a lot cheaper to live there, right? For about $1,200 to $1,500 you can have a very comfortable lifestyle. And as you probably have seen from my YouTube videos last year, I'm getting close to generating that type of passive income. And that's without me even doing any sort of work, right? But who says I can't do any work whatsoever once I'm there? So the kind of, as they say, the cat is out of the bag. That's why this whole process is happening. So if you're interested in investing, if you want to retire early as well, if you want to travel, like I said, click the subscribe button, because when things are open up and stuff, I'm planning on going to Asia, checking it out, and hopefully moving there. Actually, one more thing is I also decided to combine few of my channels into one, because before I had separate channel for car maintenance and separate channel for finances. I was actually going to create a separate channel for traveling, but then I thought, well, why am I doing separate channels when it's all really related, right? I'm doing my own car maintenance to save money so I have more cash to invest, and the reason I'm doing all that, those two, is so that I can actually retire and travel more. So I'm just going to be having one channel, posting videos on one channel, and you can find everything, all the information on those channels. And you can actually see how, when I talked in my previous videos about, saving money and how I try to do my own car maintenance and even my own haircut, like, I'm not exaggerating, I'm actually doing it. And believe it or not, like, things like car maintenance saves me a lot of money. Because don't forget, you go and you do like brake service or something at the dealerships, it costs you $150. You do automatic transmission fluid change, it's $170. You do it yourself, $20 or $30 per service. So you do 4 or 5 of those, and instead of paying $500 or $600, you pay $100. That's $500 you can invest. Before, I was pretty much investing just in the stock market, right? But everyone knows what happened with the cryptocurrency and stuff, and with government printing money. So I started looking at other options as well. So yes, I put some money into cryptocurrency. I'm being very careful not to call it investing, because I don't actually think it's investing. If you ask my opinion on cryptocurrency, I think it's complete garbage. It reminds me of, just makes me think right away of somebody, that story, trying to sell magic beans. Somebody just has a bean or two and asks somebody else to give them a house for it, and tells them that, maybe somebody in a week or two will give you two houses for it. Well, maybe, maybe not, right? But what's the value of the beans themselves? It's nothing. Same thing. And don't forget, this happened in the past as well. You can Google tulip mania of the 1600, where people were paying for a flower salary of like, I believe it was like a 10 or 20-year salary. Like, it's just insane. It's completely insane. And people were paying it. Why? The only everyone knew that this flower doesn't actually worth that, but everyone was simply hoping that they're going to be able to resell it to somebody else. Well, but once people kind of stopped buying them, started to be cautious, the whole thing just collapsed, right? So I think it will be kind of the same thing with the cryptocurrency. And plus, don't forget that the US dollar is the reserve currency of the world. That's one of the reasons why United States can just print money. As somebody said once, United States will never default on its debt. Why? Because the debt is in US dollars and they can just print more money. So, having said that, do you think US government will allow Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency to replace it? Something that they have no control over? No, there's no way. Plus, look how easy it is. Look what's happening in China. One day they decided, okay, we're not going to allow it anymore. So yeah, like in the long term, I think cryptocurrency has no value really. But you know what? People making money on it. It is going up. There's uncertainty. People willing to park their money into anything pretty much, as long as it's not cash. So I thought, you know what? Why not? I didn't invest much into it. I put like 1%. About, a couple $1,000s of it, but I did do it. And I'm gonna keep it because, this 1% doesn't actually affect me in any way. Also, because of what I just mentioned because of all the money printing, I decided to buy some gold and silver and to basically just park my money in there. Again, I don't think about it as investment. I don't call it investment because it just sits there. It doesn't produce anything. It doesn't do nothing. It simply looks pretty, right? But hopefully, with all this money printing, and back then I already knew that inflation is going to happen, right? Because less people working, there is less production going on in the world, yet there's more and more money being printed. Well, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out what's going to happen. Inflation, right? Because there's more cash than goods. So I decided to buy some gold and silver just to have that protection instead of having cash. But having said that, my stocks that I've been purchasing when the COVID hit last year, they've been doing very well. Yeah, that's why my portfolio is now over $300,000. Stocks alone are sitting currently at about $295,000. And if you remember from my previous videos, last year around this time I was at $212,000. A lot of the stocks that I purchased, they went through the roof. I mean, they didn't like quadruple or anything, but I think those are very safe stocks, and I think for the amount of time they're doing very well. I bought a lot of real estate, companies. Uh, you can see about Simon's Property Group. That's a largest mall operator in the United States. Their stock was down a lot, and actually this 54% doesn't really give it justice, because what happened is I bought it, it went up a lot, I sold it because this time was still very uncertain. Then as the bad news came in, it dropped again, and I just bought it again. So in reality, I'm up on it about, I would say, close to 80%. I also bought banks. That's the thing with banks, right? They often drop, but people honestly have to remember that for the banks to fail, well, simply government will, first of all, will not let them fail. Second, if they do fail, your money is worth nothing. And that's the biggest thing. I remember I read it a long time ago, and it just made sense to me, and this is what I'm trying to get across to people is don't be scared to invest your money, because for example, if the bank fail, what is your money worth? Your money is worth nothing anyway. It's a piece of paper. Actually, it's not even a piece of paper. Your bank has your electronic money. If the bank fails, well, you don't have money anyway. So yeah, when the banks were down and invested into them as well, and yeah, most of them doing very well, 50-60% up in a year. And that kind of would explain how I'm 50% up in 1 year. Also, kind of along the lines of me saving money and doing my own car maintenance and doing other things, I actually decided that I want to save even more money. So basically, I moved out from the house that I own. I'm just gonna rent it out, and I moved into a smaller apartment. And I'm saving about $1,300 every month, give or take. And actually, it could be even more, because I live now a lot closer to my work. But on the other hand, there's other places that now farther from me, so I have to drive more. So we'll see. But yeah, I kind of calculated it's about $1,300 a month in savings. The nice thing about renting a house, like overall, the nice thing about real estate investing, which really, you buy real estate and then you rent it out, is that most of it can be written off. You can write off things like interest on the mortgage. You can write off, obviously, anything that's cost for you to keep the house. Things such as taxes, and anything has to be fixed or maintenance on the house, which means you can do any type of maintenance on the house and pretty much write it off. Do it for free. And if that's your only house, if that's your primary residence, then if later you decide to sell it, you don't really need to pay any capital gain tax, because that's your primary residence, and you don't pay capital gain tax on your primary residence. Things not going as well as I wanted to, because to be honest, I was planning on going to Bali in September, but right now Indonesia having high coronavirus infection rates, and they're actually on lockdown. And that's kind of why I moved into an apartment, because I was getting ready to actually move there. I was gonna go there in September, see how I like it, and if I liked it, I would have just canceled my lease here on an apartment, which is month to month, and just go there for a year. My house here is somebody gonna rent it. I don't have to worry about it. All my things are there, so I'm not literally losing nothing. And then see how I like it. And a year later, maybe, if I like it, I can just sell the house completely. Because at the end of the day, do you really want to deal with renters and all the issues that sometimes come up from it? I don't know, maybe not. If you don't live in the country, then you have to probably pay a company to deal with it, then it kind of eats into your profits. That's what I like about stocks. It's buy it and forget it, right? And if you want to own real estate, I mean, you can buy ETFs, REITs. So that gives you exposure to real estate without all the headaches of actually dealing with it and dealing with things that are breaking down and all the extra costs associated with it. So that's kind of my first update in a year. In my future videos, and before I continue, like I said, if you like it, if this is something you're interested in, if you're interested in do-it-yourself videos, if you're interested in car maintenance, if you're interested in finances, like personal finance, if independence, if you're interested in figuring out, how do I retire early, or maybe how do I find money to travel and like basically being free, right? Honestly, click the like button, click subscribe. The more I see that people like my videos, the more I'm gonna make them, right? I mean, that's one of the reasons why I didn't really do it last year, why I stopped, is because, yeah, people liked a little bit here and there, but, it was very little. I was doing it more for myself. But now I'm thinking, I would like to continue, Once I actually go on vacation to Asia, I'm planning also making videos and uploading them, so that will give you a chance to follow me, right? Going from not even knowing what the stocks are to becoming financially independent and being able to afford to retire early. As you can see, I'm definitely not in the retirement age. And yet that I'm talking about retiring. So yeah, just click that like button and subscribe. Anyway, in my future videos, I do want to talk more about all the stocks that I own, right? And what I'm going to try to do also is whenever I'm thinking of buying a stock, I'm going to make a video on that, even if it's a short video, just to kind of talk why I'm thinking of buying it or why did I buy it, so that if you're interested as well, you can maybe buy it as well. Just a full disclosure, I'm not a financial advisor. I have no education whatsoever. Maybe you do need to talk to your financial advisor, but I think the fact that I don't have any financial education and yet I'm doing this well speaks volume. Basically, if some random guy on the internet who has accent, who came to this country, who was washing dishes at 19, can do that, well, honestly, anybody can. Really, anybody. And that, I think, the main thing here is that it's not about, look at me, I'm doing so well. No, it's actually not that hard, Just choose your expenses, don't waste your money, invest it. Basically, pay yourself before you pay somebody else, right? You can watch my other previous videos about that whole thing. But yeah, like it's not hard. It's not rocket science, definitely. I'm never gonna be a billionaire, and I know it, and I'm not trying to be. But simply to be financially independent, to be able to afford to go to Asia and do whatever I want with my time and not work 40 hours a week, sit in the office. I think that's beautiful. Like we all have different interests, and we can just. It's nice to be able to do those things instead of sitting and working and working and working in front of the computer or whatever else job you do. I'd like to go work out. I'd like to go eat. I'd like to travel. Like to see things. Go ride a bike. Do some yoga. Do jiu-jitsu. That's another thing. Back in November, I started training jiu-jitsu. I have a friend who's a third-degree black belt, and it started slowly. We were doing like one class a week, because, you know, the whole COVID and stuff. Lately we try to do 2 times a week. I'm still a white belt, but I think I'm seeing improvement. He also tells me he can see improvement, so who knows? Maybe in a few more months I'll be a blue belt. We'll see. But yeah, who knows, maybe I'll even make videos on that as well. Because this basically will be like a do-it-yourself channel for everything, really. That's why I renamed it. It's because it's everything, right? Investing, traveling, anything you can think of. So I hope you like it. Like I said, click the subscribe button, click the like button, and I'm gonna continue making those videos. If I see that there is interest, honestly, I could easily make those like once a week. Thank you very much for watching it, and have a good day.